Hi, folks. Good afternoon.
Hi, sir.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Today we will study again, branching instruction, and then we'll go up to the jump instruction. And maybe next class we will look at some of the examples. Okay, so you may be finding it difficult to find out examples or programs available on net. Yes, that is true. There are not many books available or resources available as much as you find in other assembly language programs, because it's a new language. Now this is also an advantage, because this will force you to do programming, dirty your hands, right? Because without dirtying your hands you cannot learn programming. See, and one kind of programming is called cut and paste programming, in which people first, when they are asked to write a program, first thing they do is that search it, search it on internet. And internet generally is some kind of similar program is available, and just blindly cut and paste it. And this happens very often in industry. And what happens that when code is delivered to customer, and customer runs a check whether delivered software has some copied content or some copyright violations, then they find plenty. Okay. So there are commercial software available which can always check whether you have done cut and paste from some source. Okay, and that in the organization I worked, I had to sack some people, some employees, because of this blatant cut and paste. So please remember that dirtying your hands is very, very important. And we'll repeat the B type because this is little complex. I mean, assembly language programming is simple, but how machine actually converts that B instruction to corresponding machine instruction is a little complex. So we'll look at B instruction again. Okay. Branch, we use branches, for example, when we have high level language concept, if and else, or while and for. And these look something like this. If branch on equal, if x1 register is equal to x2 register, then jump to label. Now, where in main program or in the program you define some label. Okay. Here we have to, this is the name of the label. Then this, basically there has to be something like label here in the main, in the program. Okay, but when this instruction is converted to corresponding machine instruction, then this label, this symbol is replaced by address. So it has to jump to some place, right? And what we do is that, let's assume at this point we are running B, Q, X1, X2 label. And label is somewhere, let's say, after some number of instructions. Then there is a program counter value here, which shows a starting address of this instruction, where this instruction is stored. And when we calculate, when we replace this instruction by machine instruction, then this label is replaced by displacement. Okay, the machine instruction corresponding to this will be some code corresponding to BEQ, the opcode, and then register, say, X1, something to represent X1, X2, and then the offset. See, there will be some offset here. Now here, if it is a 16, then the 16 will come here, right? So this is called PC relative addressing. So jump instructions are generally PC relative, because in assembly or machine instruction, we don't use absolute addressing. The address of actual memory location we never use, because if we use that, it means that all the time your programmer has to start at certain location. Okay, and no other program can use it, that memory location. So normally there is a concept of loader which we'll read later. So your program may start from any location rather than always from one location. So that's the reason jumps are, or when you say jump to a memory location, it's never absolute. It's always relative, right? So we'll look at that. Okay, this concept. So all I wanted to say is that branch instructions are something like this: branch or equal to, or branch or not equal to, and then something at the end is label, which you use in programming language, assembly programming language. And format is as follows, right? There's opcode bit 7, and then opcode field along with function field gives you total semantics of opcode, or total opcode we can think of. And then we have 20 bits. Okay, 20 bits for immediate, which is constant. Okay, now so basically what we do is that this 20 bits here gives offset value from the current location. Okay, that's simple interpretation. Now if we have just 20 bits here, remember that we are starting from if you look at the number, if you just count the number of bits here, okay, then it will turn out to be 20. Okay, because 20 plus you have 10 here, 30 plus 30, sorry, so this is 20 bits. So 20 plus, if you add up others, just a minute, I'm sorry. Okay, so the 12 bits, sorry. So 12 bits, 12 bits of immediate field, not why I'm thinking of 20. 20 is in case of jump. Okay, I'm sorry. So 12 bits of immediate field, and remaining if you add will be 32. Now, so with 12 bits, how much you can represent? How many locations of jump you can do? If it's unsigned, then 2 raised power 20. Okay, but it is signed, you can jump to previous location also, right? So what we do is that basically it will be plus minus 2 raised power 19 with 20 bits. Is it okay? When we have 20 bits of offset, it means that from 22 raised power 20 locations we can jump onto if it's unsigned. Otherwise, you can go up to minus 2 raised power 19 location, up to 2 raised power 9, and plus up to 2 raised power 19 locations. Any doubt about it? Oh, I'm sorry. What I'm doing? I'm sorry. We are just what I'm talking about. Again, I am getting into jump again. We have 12 bits. I'm so sorry. 12 bits, so we can go up to 2 raised power 12 if it's unsigned. If it's signed, then we can go up to 2 raised power plus 2 raised power 11. And on the minus side, we can go up to minus 2 raised power 11. So these are the jumps. So if you're branching, say, assume this is an instruction, branch instruction, you can go either in positive direction or negative direction. Okay, this is clear, right? Now what we have, okay. So now we will look at it, that why, how we get one extra bit. Here we are telling that we can actually go up to 2 raised power minus 12 and 2 raised power plus 12. Okay, so effectively 12 bits encode 13 bits. It means that instead of having 12 bits of offset, we can always represent, instead of 12 bits, 13 bits. Okay, now this is, so in instruction you have, offset, if you go to previous, this one, and if you sum this up, right, this corresponds to 12 bits. So it means that we can have minus 2 raised power 11 to 2 plus 2 raised power 11 offset. Okay. Now what we will see that at the last bit is always 0. Okay. The last bit, let's assume the instruction is starting. First instruction is say something, BEQ. Let's assume it's first section BEQ R1, R2, and some location. So starting at 0, 0, 0, 0, for example, and remaining are all zeros. And then this instruction is 4 byte. Okay. The next instruction is say, for example, add ABC. Okay. And then what will be the address of this instruction? This is 4 byte away, because this there will be first byte, second byte, third byte, fourth byte. So it will be 0, 1, 0, 0, and rest all are 0, assuming that the starting address was all zeros. Third instruction would be what? What will be address of the third instruction? Okay, add 4 to this one, right? So it becomes 1, 0, 0, 0. So what you observe here, and you can keep going on this way, you observe here is the last, actually 2 bits, but let's consider only 1 bit. Last 1 bit is always 0. So we don't represent this bit into the field here. The last bit ideally should be this bit, okay, LSB. So what we can do is that instead of having this bit position representing this one here, the last bit, we take rest of the bits. So rest of the 19 bits we can take, rest of the 11 bits we can take. So rest of the 11 bits starting from, rather than LSB, so we'll start with bit number 1 rather than bit 0 up to bit 11. Right, so still one position is left out. Now we can have, it means that now we can have, instead of 2 raised power 11 minus 11 to plus 11, we can represent 2 raised power 12 minus 2 plus 2 raised power 12. And so we'll take these bits, okay, when we are trying to calculate offset, and add to this 1, 0, because 1, 0 is there, right? So actually we are encoding in such a way that we are not encoding last bit position, but we can always add. So effectively you have 13 bit address here, which can represent offset. Okay. So accordingly you do the coding. Got it? Any question?
Going from 2 to the power 11 to 2 to the power 12 was a little confusing for me.
It's confusing, right?
Yeah.
So you note that instructions are 4 bit wide,
Right.
4 byte wide. Okay, again,
Yes,
I will just give me a minute. I will explain it again.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay. Instructions are 4 byte.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and memory is byte addressable.
Right.
We are not addressing each word location. We are addressing each byte location, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so it means that the difference between so for address, let's assume starting address is 0, all zeros. Huh?
Okay.
So let's assume that memory is very small size, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So basically 8 bits are there to represent any memory address. Okay. So now what we can do is that first instruction is starting here. Second instruction will be, what is the address of the second instruction?
+4.
+4. So it will be 1, 0, 0, right?
Right.
And remaining will be all zeros. What will be the address of third instruction?
8.
8. So 1, 0, 0, 0. And remaining are all zeros.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, you can add 4 to this one. So this will become 1, 1, 0, 0.
Right.
Okay. Now, do you observe anything? So in order to code this, you need how many bits? Let's assume that displacement here is, this makes 12, right? This is 4 bytes away, 8 bytes away, 12 bytes away. Okay, displacement now, if you are jumping from this instruction to this level here, the displacement is 12.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So you will need so many bits in ordinary coding. Okay. Now what you can do, one thing you observe here, the last bit is always 0.
Right.
Okay. So then what you can say is that I am not going to code this in my instruction, but I will always add that because this is always there. So there is no point in coding that.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
kind of intelligence I can have, right? Machine can have. So
Yes.
I will not code the last bit in the instruction, but whatever are the values, I will add 1 0 to that.
Okay. Okay.
Got
Yeah.
it? Now
Yeah.
my range, instead of having, in this case, my range was maximum locations I can jump is 2 raised power 8, provided I have unsigned number. But we are using signed number, so we can go up to minus 2 raised power 7 to 2 raised power 7 in ordinary case.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with omitting 1 0 into the coding, and the last one that we are adding, will always give us a higher range because it can be 0 or 1. So now my range is minus 2 raised power 8
Right. Okay.
to 2 raised power 8. So I am getting advantage of, I am doubling my jump address space or jump space, right? Instead of jumping 2 raised power 7 locations, I can now jump 2 raised power 8 locations on either side. Got it?
Yeah, understood, sir.
Remember, this kind of coding we have also done in 2's complement, if you remember, right? Where some things are redundant, then we don't need to code that in actual instruction.
Yep, sir. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So now let's move ahead. Okay, all right. So this is where we are. Now let's look at one example. Okay. Okay, something like this, right? So we have now, instead of 12, 13-bit immediate. Okay, because 12 bits anyway field we have, and by removing 1 bit, which is always 0, and we can add 1 more bit. So basically we have 13-bit immediate that we discussed so far. Okay, now the encoding is of course not very clean. That's the reason it's taking time. So assembly language program is as follows: branch on equal to S0 T5 to level L1. This is how we will do programming, and we'll define L1 somewhere. But machine, when it's converted to machine instruction, it has to know exactly where to jump. So it has to have some address. And what we are doing is PC relative addressing. It means that program counter is at this level. It will say now new program counter is this one, which is present value of PC plus displacement. And this displacement, you get it from the instruction. Okay. So now in this case, you have first instruction BEQ means that program counter, there must be some value of program counter. When it gets this instruction, then assembler will, instead of using L1, it will give the displacement. Now displacement, if you look at it in terms of number of bytes, it is 16. Right? So each instruction, this first instruction is 4 bytes, second is 4 bytes, third is 4 bytes, and fourth is also 4 bytes. So summation is 16, right? So this L1 is 16 bytes away from the current location of PC. Okay, so it means that now PC must be incremented by 16 to come to this instruction here. Okay, all right, so we know that now displacement is 16. All right, so now we'll have to find out how machine instruction will be coded, right? So 16 corresponds to what? 16 corresponds to this one. Okay, and now we know that last bit is not encoded. So now we can add 1 0 here. Now, had this been longer jump, then there's a possibility that there could have been 1 here. If it's a positive side, if it's on negative side, then this could be 1 or this could be whatever. Okay, all right. So now we can see that we have the immediate 16 corresponding to this one, but it will be encoded in such a way that the first bit is discarded and 1 bit is added here, and that's all. Okay, and correspondingly we can have the code here. So over this, so we can see that, I'm sorry, again you can see that we can discard. Okay, so basically we can discard this one and then encode remaining number of bits. Okay, and this encoding is as follows, that first we are in this first position here after opcode field here, we are showing 11th bit. So 11th bit is this 0. So this 0 goes here, and then 1 to 4, 1 to 4, it means these 4 bits will go at here, and then remaining will go respectively here. Okay, so this is how we code. Now, question you may ask is why we are coding this way. So let's not worry about this. Is how they have designed based on certain operation efficiencies. All right, any question? Okay, so please go through slides so you will understand it. It's not very intuitive. It took me quite some time for me to understand it. First phase I just skipped it. I never thought it's so complicated. Second phase I got the essence of it, right? And the addressing that we are doing, addressing means that how opcode is fetched. Okay, so we use here PC relative addressing that we have already discussed. Okay, all right. So these are different kind of branch instructions. So we have discussed only one: branch on equal to, then branch on not equal to, branch on less than, branch on greater than, branch on less than with unsigned, branch on greater than equal to, and unsigned. And the format is as what we have seen it earlier, right? These are the two registers which are to be compared. These two fields here, this and this, gives you opcode, and these two fields put together give you immediate field or constant field. And then little bit of manipulation, discard LSB, add 1 bit, gives you higher range. That's how we encode. Okay, all right. Any question? See, in normal practice, you don't need to go to machine level because you don't do machine level coding. This is just in case you want to write D-assembler, looking at machine code, and you want to create assembly language, you need to understand all this. There's another reason why we are going through this. Okay, all this coding. When we are going to design microarchitecture, okay, when we are going to generate various control signals for movement of data or creating data path, then we need to look at these fields and do some manipulation on these fields to generate control signals. Or when we do microcoding, or when we create this control signal using other methods, then we need to look at these fields, and which we'll study soon after when we'll finish discussion on assembly language programming. Okay, other instruction that we have not discussed so far is upper immediate, but you have used that. Okay, there are two instructions, LUI and AUIPC. First one is LUI, load upper immediate. Now immediate field is here of 20 bits. This is 20 bits. We are not doing any manipulation here, right? So it's just 20 bits. So what we are doing is that when we are using LUI, then whatever is this opcode field, we are looking at register RD and top 20 bits of that upper side of that, we are putting this constant value here, and remaining are all zeros. Okay, that's simple. So now we have seen how to generate a constant. We can move some data to add some register, and lower 12 bits we can do add I. Okay, so with add immediate we can create 32 bit of constant that we have studied earlier, if you remember. Second is AUIPC. Okay, now this section here we are taking the is something like this. Okay, we'll skip this. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing here? It's used to build PC relative address using U-type format. Okay, so offset is 20 bit upper immediate and filling lower 12 bits with zeros. Okay, fine. So what we are taking, take the current value of PC, add to that offset, which is 20 bit offset that we are getting from instruction, and then move this to a destination register. Why are we doing this? Okay, we may require this for anything. For example, we have this instruction. Okay, we want to know what is the label, or you want to take this value of label to some register, say X10. So, say for example, label is say 0000, and then it's a 32 bit, so maybe, and then at the end we have 1010 or 1101, for example. Now we want to take this to a register X1 for some manipulation or some addition, right? So we can use this instruction that AUIPC 0 and label. Okay, what is it doing? Okay, what is the PC value here? PC value here is that of a label, this one. Okay, adding to this one 0. Okay, and moving this to register X10. So it means that we are this address from at which the instruction is, we are moving to register X10. Okay, and there are many other usages, right? I mean, you will come to know when you do some programming. Okay, any questions? Okay, let's move ahead then. Most complicated instruction that we have is jump type, and we have used that in a program, right? The format is follows. Instruction opcode size is 7 bits, and then there is a register RD. Okay, and then we have this makes 12 bits. This plus this. So remaining 20 bits are offset. Okay. Okay. Do you note here that, see, always we start with, when we say immediate field bit 1 to 10 are here. Why we are not showing 0th bit? We are not showing 0th bit here because we are doing same kind of encoding as we have done in case of branch instruction. So these 20 bits here are actually encoding 21 bits. Okay, and the last bit, because being 0, we are not encoding it here, but when you read this instruction, whatever you get from this you will assemble, because these are not in, these are encoded with different bit positions, right? For example, bit 11 is here in between. Okay, and bit 1 to 10 are after that, right? So you move the values when just instead of just copying it as it is, you create from this 20 bit address, right? So this will be it means that this will come here, 11th bit will come after this, and 12 to 19 will come here, and the last 20th will come to this place. And then from this, you create this 20-bit immediate field, right? Now, this is not the whole story. Now, into this one, you have to add 1 0 to get actual value of, offset or whatever you are calculating. Okay. All right. Any question? Is it complex? Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, so we are here.
Okay. All right. So let's look at one example. Okay. So this is another way of, it's basically same thing I'm represented here. I have shown it here. So we have this instruction JAL RD immediate. Okay. Now here RD, note, when we say we are jumping to a location, we have not used RD here. This RD is usually is used to keep the return address, right? We have studied that. So this RD is usually RA, a register RA. So basically what we do is here is that when we have jump instruction JAL, the next instruction, let's assume PC, whatever is PC value, we increment it by 4 and then save that value into register RA, because we will have to come back, right? Because we are jumping into some location, we have to execute that and come back, right? We have studied that. So what we do is that save return address, that's PC plus 4 into register RD. Okay, and RD is in the programming is nothing but a fixed register called RA. All right, and then what we have to do? Then we have to use this immediate field and then calculate jump address from this one, right? So what we do is that we look at the PC. So this immediate field is of 20 bits. We reassemble it such that it actually bit 1 comes here and bit 20 comes at the other end. Into this you add 1 bit, say which is 0. Okay. So other way of adding this is that take this value and multiply it by 2. Then this bit will automatically become 0. All right. So this is how what we are doing is that take this value after reassembling it, multiply it by 2 or add 0 at the end. Both are the same thing. And sign extend it. It's if it is, for example, if the MSB is 1 here and remaining thing, then you'll have to make it 1. Okay. And then add this to PC. So basically here we have 20 bits. And if MSB is, B0 to 20, if I'm sorry, here we have shown it's 20. So let's assume this is 20 and that total is 32. So 20th bit is 1, then sign extended. Whatever the value you get, add this to PC. And that's your target address. Okay, and jump to that address. Is it clear? Okay, I will repeat. Right? You have offset of 20 bits or immediate field of 20 bits. Okay. What we are going to do is that take this in instruction, take this 20 bits and arrange them, because these are positions are different. So from this you get 20 bits properly arranged. Okay. And then you add to this one bit which is 0, And you know, whatever with MSB here, if it's 1, then extend it by another whatever number of positions left. This is 12, basically 11 more positions, right? Because this totally makes 21, 21 plus 11. So rest of this will be 1, which is sign extension. Now, whatever value you get after sign extension, add to that value of the PC, which has become PC plus 4. Okay, and that is your jump value, or basically address of the where you are jumping to. Okay. All right. So in other words, offset is sign extended multiplied by 2, okay, and added to the value of PC. And the PC value is actually showing the location of next instruction. Now, this is the only difference between branch calculation, which we have studied earlier. Here we take the PC value as the current value where BEQ is there. Where in case of JAL, we have already incremented PC to PC plus 4 because that we are saving. Then from this, to this value, we are adding the offset that we have calculated from the method here. Okay. And then we get the address to which we have to jump to for when we have function call. All right. So we'll take one example and show it. Okay. Okay. This is pseudo instruction. One pseudo instruction is J. J is nothing but JAL X0 and label. Right. So it's basically you don't have to save any return value, and you are just jumping. It's unconditional jump. You're not coming back. Then you can use JL instruction and create pseudo instruction called JLabel. All right. So, all right. So normal instruction is like this: JAL, array, and function name. All right. So let's and this concept of linking we have already studied. So let's take this example. This is a very simple example I have created. Okay. Okay, there is a program, and then there may be some instruction before this instruction, JAL array function 1. So we are jumping when this instruction is executed, jump is to this location. Okay. Now start the PC value at this point in time is this one. Okay. And when we execute this, the PC value become PC plus 4. Actually, I can see some problem. There's little mistake I have made. Okay. All right. And then let's assume that this instruction is basically, okay. So this instruction is 12 bytes away from JAL. Okay. So basically the 1 and 2 more instructions are there between. This is one instruction, second, and third, right? So basically 4 of this one, 4, 8, 12. Okay. Maybe instruction is here. So basically 2 instruction away. So basically, okay. Note that now this function to which we are jumping is 12 bytes away from JAL. All right. So now 12 bytes away from JAL, what does it mean? Before JAL or after JAL? Now let's assume that it's after JAL. It means a PC plus 4. It means that from next instruction, this instruction is 12 bytes away. Okay. So from this instruction, it's beginning of this instruction, 12 bytes away. It means that now we can encode offset is this one, 1100. Not JAL, but next to JAL, add instruction. Okay. All right. So now we know this is offset. So now we don't need to encode this. So we have shown this as a cross. And then we can add 10 here. So our offset, which we need to encode in instruction, becomes this one. something that's starting, accepting, leaving one bit at the end, right? So, so what we can do is that this is of what is the first field? First field is always opcode. Okay. Then this is RD. And then what we have seen is that what are these bits here? These bits will be bits 12 to 19. Sorry, these bits 12 to 19. So whatever bits 12 to 19 we have here, these bits will go there, and then remaining bits will come here. So these bits shown in green will come here, and 0, bit 11 I think will come there, and one extra 0 that we have added will come here. Okay, all right, this right. So this is how machine instructions are encoded. So if you have this instruction available, then you have to create from this all these immediate fields values something which is equivalent to this one. Okay. So leave out basically this is the actual immediate field which you can readjust and get it. Any question?
Sir,
Yeah.
so the 0 that gets added in this LSB.
Okay. So basically, this is not part of this field, right? Immediate field. So immediate field, we have now 20 bits. In the instruction, we have 20 bits we can represent. Okay. And remaining is opcode, right? Or whatever. So these 20 bits that we have, we know the last bit is always 0. So we don't need to represent that. Okay. So we take first bit onwards and code here. And then, of course, now we can have bigger address space, right? A bigger address. Instead of 20 bits, we can code now 21 bits. So 21st bit of, offset will come here. Actually, we are not adding 0. This is actual immediate field, which is of 21 bits. Okay, if we have immediate field of 21 bits and we have here only 20 bits available to represent that, and we know that LSB is always 0, then we don't need to code it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
It's like this. You want to represent 2 raised power 21 addresses, right? Okay, and basically the range for this is 2 raised power minus 20 to 2 raised power 20. Okay, so you have basically 21. So this you can always represent, okay, using 21 bits. But you have only 20 bits available in instruction. Okay, you have only 20 bits available. And you know that you have to represent 21 bits. Then what you observe is that last bit LSB is always 0. Just ignore that. Okay, and remaining bits you can encode here. And when you actually use this instruction, then add 1 0 bit at the end. So in this way, you are getting advantage of 1 extra bit. Okay. Now in this example that we have taken is very trivial example. So we have said that there is 1 bit here, which is MSB, which corresponds to 21st bit, which that will go here. That's all. Okay, what we are doing is that in the instruction that we have only 20 bits, but we are trying to create from those 20 bits 21 bits, because these 20 bits can represent 21 bits, because LSB is always 0, which we are not coding. Okay, so little complex, but also complex because displacement, these immediate fields are not in one sequence, but some bits are at one place, some are other place, because of the design simplicity. Okay, the next instruction is jump, and J is called JALR, where we are using a register. Okay, so it's as follows. Okay, so we now it's a jump and link type of, and then we are using register. When we are using link, it means that we have to save the return address in RD. Okay, so it writes return address, that's the PC plus 4, because you have JALR instruction, which is 4 bytes wide, and next instruction address will be this instruction, which is PC, value of PC when JLR is plus 4 will be next instruction. Move this to RD, and then jump to, now we are using the register, contents of this register, RS1, okay, and 12 bits of immediate field. Okay, these are now very clean instruction here. Okay, so take these 12 bits from here, sign extend it, okay, and add this to contents of register RS1, and then jump to that location. All right, earlier what we are doing in instruction JAL, we have 20 bits in instruction, and from that we are converting into 21 bits, then sign extending this and adding this to PC. Now here, instead of adding this to PC, we are adding sign extended of immediate field to RS1, which is base register. Okay, now RS1 may contain PC value or may contain something else. So, but RS1 is of 32 bits. Now it means that now we have, our range is, we can increase in this way. All right. Okay, so it's quite simple in comparison to JAL. All right, any question?
So in this case, don't we add the extra bit to the immediate field?
No, we are not doing that, because although we can do it, right? But possibly designers would have felt that, we are already getting 32 bits from here. Plus we are adding, say, 12 bits. So this kind of displacement is usually good enough. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That could be the logic. All right. So one example is here. First instruction, load upper immediate register S7 with this one. Okay, this is, note that this is 20 bits, right? So S7, let's assume this is S7. First 20 bits will be corresponding to 801FA, and remaining will be, this makes 20, it means a 3, this will be 0. Each symbol here represents a hexadecimal, right? So this is nothing but 0, 0, 0, 0. Second is also 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and plus 20 of these makes 32 bits. Okay, and add to this one. Now you say JALR S2 S7, this one. So basically to S7 we are adding this one. Okay, so it will be this plus 7BC. So it will become 801 FA 7BC will be content of S7. Okay, and then save the return address PC plus 4 into register S2, which is return address. So this is simple instruction. All right. So we so now PC new value of PC becomes this one. Okay, and then you jump to this instruction, this address. All right. So it's as simple as that. Look at register value, add to that immediate field. Okay, and then you get the actual jump instruction. All right, and then before doing that, save the return address into register RD, which is nothing but register RA. Return, all right. Okay. Instruction types are as follows. Okay, all right. So with this, we have completed all instruction formats, right? We have discussed R type, like add A plus B, A, B, C, that kind of instruction. Then immediate, add immediate kind of instruction. Then store type of instruction, storing from register to memory. Okay, and then we have studied, of course, load instruction also we have studied. Then branch instruction, U type of instruction, that's the load, upper, immediate, etc. And then J type of instruction. In J, we have studied two JLR, JAL, and JALR. Okay. So assembly language and machine language programming is little more difficult, not as simple as high level languages. That's the reason high level languages are designed. Okay. And you find, for example, Python much simpler than C, because level of abstraction in Python is much higher than in C, right? C is very close, if you see, very close to assembly language programming. Now I will skip it in this class. So next